I'm struggling. Um, this may never fall on anybody's ears, but I need to just release some of it. I'm struggling with forgiveness. And can I or will I ever forgive certain people? And no, because the lack of empathy is why I can't. Um, and it started with a video way back in the day, about a 10-year-old who was AR'd by her uncle, had to fly out of state because it was illegal in her state, and then parents flew back and afraid of getting arrested at the airport. And I got, what about Biden's economics? That was it. Done. Done. Unbelievably done. A 10-year-old, no empathy for that 10-year-old when this person should have empathy. And has used things in the past. Empathy. I want to forgive because it hurts right here. It's heavy and it hurts. But the lack of empathy of this country, really. These people voted for this guy, this fool, 3 times, knowing who he was. Knowing. Like 34 felonies. Knowing. Had to pay off a woman because he did something in a... And you voted anyway. And you ask why, and you're like, well, but this and they that, and you this and we that. And none of it makes absolute any sense out of him. He's a billionaire. He's going to do our country good. All right. How the tariffs working for you? That's a concept of the economics that this person will never understand or try to educate themselves about. They'll just bitch about it because, a whole plant getting laid off is because of Biden stuff still, right? Because Biden did something, these people lost their jobs. No, they're incapable of connecting dots and finding empathy within that. They can't do it. They're so busy letting their husband and the community throw stuff in the air so she can spit it out her mouth. There's no self-education going on, and there's no empathy, and I can't do it. And one of the major reasons is that 10-year-old. But it's also the women that we are no longer talking about, which is awful, that are bleeding out in the bathtubs, right? Who are in the emergency room, and the fetus is not viable, but it still has a little bit of a heartbeat. So you need to leave until it dies, and maybe we can come in and then take care of business. In the meantime, they give birth, stillbirth, and they bleed out, have sepsis, and die. Where's empathy for that? Where? I did try one time, again, after that. And I sent a video about a 5-year-old's Halloween parade where ICE came in and shot off tear gas at 5-year-olds. And this person came back with, well, they weren't shooting it at the 5-year-olds. They were shooting it at the adults. And I'm like, oh, my head, tear gas floats around in the air. That's why they use it. 5-year-olds were hacking and coughing. And they did it because there was a 50-year-old grandma from Guatemala who came here when she was 10, got a speeding ticket back in 19 whatever, and is a danger to our country, so we'll just gas 5-year-olds to get to her. Which is ridiculous, because half of your family is Hispanic. Do you realize that they could be walking down the street and get thrown into a van by a bunch of men with masks and make-believe cop vests? No, you won't believe it until it happens to you. You won't. And the lack of empathy. It hurts, and I can't get past that to get to forgiveness. I can't. And I have some questions. How you doing without your job, folks with no empathy? Huh? How are you taking care of your diabetes and your high blood pressure right now, people with no empathy? How is it changing Grandpa's diaper in the living room because he got kicked out of the nursing home because he had no insurance? No empathy, people. And I'm still hearing, well, it's because of what Biden did. They're incapable. And for the authors out there that wrote books and didn't put them out until he was out of office, how dare you? You knew, and you said nothing. You should have said it when you got it. Whether it was 10 years before or 3 weeks into his first term, you should have said something. You didn't because you wanted that $1 million sign-in bonus. So take your freaking blood money and go spend it in Russia or something. All right? Get out of here. We don't need you. You stay silent for money. That's just as bad as the fool in office. I can't forgive, and I won't forgive. There are babies in concentration camps, sick. There are people getting shot in the head in the streets. The government's covering it up. There are people selling warehouses so they can throw in some dog cages and put 1,500 people in there when it should probably only hold 800 with no really good facilities or medical care. Is that what you want? Is that where you want your family to go if they get thrown into a van? I don't think you would care. I know half this country doesn't care. But the inability to connect the dots and to make personal hard changes in their life and what they believed in and trying to find a way to make it better. It's not there. It's if they did. That's all it is. It's always somebody else. So, do some research, some of these non-empathy people on Germany, would you? Did they forgive the jeweler next door that turned in the Jewish family you had in your attic? Did they forgive them? Did they forgive the community of rich folks that lived down the road from a camp and closed their windows, closed their drapes and the doors and said, well, it's not affecting me. I don't care. Non-empathy. There are certain symbols you can't use in Germany anymore. People are getting arrested all over the globe for this Epstein stuff. Royalty, prime ministers, rich oil guys, that Wexner dude, right? All over the country, and they're losing their jobs and everything else, but not here. Not here. Because you have people like Karen Levitt, if you notice she's not wearing her cross anymore, spew shit in one ear so other people can spit it out their mouths. You have Pam Bondi, who turned her back to childhood victims. What are you going to tell your grandkids when they find that out, Pam? How are you going to handle that? So hopefully somewhere, some empathy can be found. Can my forgiveness for other people? No, it's not going to happen. I may die alone with that, and I'm okay with that. Just lay me against a tree and let nature take its course. But I can't forgive. And I guess why I made this video was hoping that something would happen there in this where I could find forgiveness, and it didn't. And I need to be okay with that, and I will be. But it's always going to be heavy on my chest. It just is what it is. But people, empathy. Our nation is much more than what we're doing right now. Find some empathy. All right? Find it. If you can't do forgiveness, that's okay. Just don't be brutal with them. Don't threaten them. Don't do anything like that. Just cut them from your life and let them live in their own little trumpet stand, little state and way of thinking. And just go on with your life and make a change. And you can do that. But I can't do the forgiveness thing. I just can't, and I never will. And I'm starting to be okay with that.